All right, it's that time. It is time for the end of day PulseWave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports. Keep in mind that tomorrow is Take Back Friday. Normally, what this means is if the market's been up all week, you'll see some decline on profit taking so people can have money to party on the weekend. All right, it's not always the case, but more likely than not it is. In addition to that, tomorrow is Friday and it will end our mega summer sale where you could save $100, man. $100 off of our top tier PulseWave reports, and that will expire tomorrow. So you're gonna want to go ahead and handle your business if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and go ahead and cop that real quick, because I don't know when and if we will have another sale like this one. All right, with that being said, we also have our upcoming webinar tomorrow. Go to PulseWaveTrading.com and you will see all the details for that and how to get involved in that. We do have some very lively conversations, so you're definitely going to want to not miss that. And the last one we did, I don't think that was recorded, so if you missed it, you just kind of missed it. You know what I mean? All right, so if you want to participate, you want to go and find out how to do that, go to PulseWaveTrading.com, and you should be aware of that. You can also sign up on our website to receive our newsletters, because people who are signed up on that received, if they haven't already, they will be receiving a newsletter on that. Okay. All right, so let's jump into these charts. Let's not take too much time. We're just going to jump in here. We do have a few charts to go over so you can get an idea of what's happening. All right, so first chart is the Nasdaq 100 futures. We're looking at the weekly. You can see so far, yes, we still got that narrow range inside week, and it is looking like, all things being equal, unless something changes tomorrow, we're looking at a crash alert sell signal going into next week. Yeah, the last few crash alert sell signals did net downside production on the shorts. All right, the last several ones. So can't ignore this sign, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is the euro yen. Okay, here's the weekly on that. Right here, kind of bouncing off of the trend line support. Bears are still in control unless something happens. We're looking for prices to head lower in the euro yen, and it looks like the tail could be wagging the dog. The euro yen could be foreshadowing what's to come in the equity markets. We shall see. Looking at nat gas, all right, so nat gas is shaping up to give us a crash alert sell signal for next week. Look at where the market is. Unless something changes, this is looking like we're going to be dropping to about $3, ladies and gentlemen. That's almost $1 drop from where we are. Look out below. What about Theta? Here is Theta. All right, Theta shaping up to give us a crash alert sell signal. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so now remember, for cryptos, you have until 6 p.m. Sunday night, New York time, okay? Friday lasts from 6 p.m. Thursday night until Sunday, 6 p.m. New York time, okay? That is a Friday for cryptos. I did not create that. I didn't make that up. That's just how the market is designed. Don't have to like it, but you do have to live with it. Next up is XRP Ripple. XRP Ripple is looking like it wants to run heading into next week unless something changes between now and Sunday at 6 p.m. This is looking like a continuation pattern, maybe even a bullish pointer, saying that we're going higher. We do have overhead resistance to deal with as we get a little bit higher, but we still have room to run from this point right here. And we got this massive bullish pointer back here, so you can't ignore these things. Next up is Apple Computer. As we take a look at the FANG stocks, all things being equal, Apple is looking like a continuation pattern for new highs going into next week. Possible we could be seeing a new high. This is very interesting happening right now. Very interesting happening. So once again, you cannot ignore these things. How about Amazon? Stick with the FANG stocks. As you can see here, bears are in clear control of this one, looking like a continuation pattern to the downside. Looks like the market's going to try to either test, bounce off of, or break below the 3,200 trend line support. This is what's happening, folks. Take note. What about that notorious Facebook? Take a look at Facebook. So Facebook so far is a inside day. Inside week. We're not really getting any upside production on this one. You would have thought we would get some upside production, but we are not. The market is just holding right now. The bulls are keeping it afloat. So all things being equal, if this were to be Friday, we'll be looking for a continuation of going into next week, a test of the highs here. So this one is looking still bullish. What about the miners? What's up with them gold miners, man? Here's your GDXJ, not looking good. Looking like the market is tired of hanging up around here, the topper echelons of the Kumo cloud, and wants to come down here and test the support for a while. So we're looking at a possible $5 drop per se. All right, testing and bouncing off the trend line support of the Kumo cloud. That's what it's looking like, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we have Google. All right, as we finish off the FANGs. As you can see here, Google, all things being equal, is looking like it wants to push into new highs, new weekly highs, that is. So if it doesn't do it tomorrow, going into next week, it probably will, all things being equal, unless this changes. It looks like a continuation upside production for Google going into next week. What about the JNUG? Well, again, depends on what GDXJ does. Right now, you can see here, GDXJ is looking rather weak, so this one looks like it wants to go down too. Looks like we're going to have more downside production going into next week on that one. What about crude oil? Well, crude oil futures right here is showing you that we so far have a bearish type of a pointer here going on. So we're looking to head lower going into next week as bears are clearly in control. Unless something changes, this is what it's looking like. Downside to come on the oil. And what about Microsoft? Well, Microsoft is looking kind of strong here as well. All things being equal, looking like this one wants to rally into next week as well. And of course, here's Netflix. Netflix bouncing off the trend line support, but the bears got it. They're in control. They are in control, and this one looks like it's going to continue to move sideways to slightly bearish going into next week. Going back to the oil, here's OIH, the crude oil ETF. So far, this one's looking like it wants to stage a rally alert buy signal going into next week. Unless something changes, this one's looking like it may want to bottom here and rally and probably get up toward 210, maybe even 215. That could be quite the rally for OIH. What about bonds? Well, here is ticker TLT. And so far, looking like a downside continuation pattern for sure. So all things being equal, this one looks like it's kind of dangling off the cliff a little bit. It could get a little nasty. Unless something changes, you got a lot of downside production on that one. So I would definitely pay attention to that. Definitely. All right. So let's see here. Give me just a second. All right, let's see. Give me just a second. Okay, that's not it. Let me try again. Bear with me just a second here. That didn't work, so maybe it's this one? Let's see. Nope, not that one. And let me try one last time. Give me just a second. Okay, here is Bank of America. All right, and as you can see here, this one, all things being equal, is poised to continuation rally going into next week, looking like it wants to hit 45 or 50 bucks a share. So this one so far looks very bullish going into next week. So I want to throw that one out there for you. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so we're switching it up a little bit. I'm giving you spot metals today, not the futures, all right? Here is your silver. You can see silver is clearly under the control of the bears. It's hunting, trying to find support near the bottom of the Kumo cloud, which means it still has another possible $2 it can fall going into next week. So look out below on silver. Here is your spot gold. All right. So far, we have a bearish pointer. It has rallied back from those lows, but this is a bearish pointer. So all things being equal, it's looking like this one could be setting the bar, pun intended, for a sideways to slightly bearish position going forward. For the next couple of weeks, we can just move sideways like we did here. See here, you made that initial bar, right? That down bar, and then prices just went ahead and respected the range that was established before it broke out. Now it's a new leg lower, so I think we'll move sideways again and then probably drop again after that. So the bears have it. All right, here is your weekly Palladium, spot Palladium. All right, this one is kind of holding steady here, bouncing off of this trend line support, hovering above it. The bears clearly have it right now, so sideways to slightly lower prices as well, respecting the range here of this bar, not really pulling away, just moving sideways on that. All right, next up is the spot platinum. Okay, so far, all things being equal, we're staging a rally alert buy signal going into next week on this one. Just keep in mind the overhead trend line resistance at 1,066.09 and the top of the Kumo cloud resistance. All right, so just keep all this in mind as if you're long on this particular market. Start protecting yourself, because we could be setting up a situation like we finished bullish here, like we did here, back here, and then you just collapse back and put in a new leg down. Remember, when you're in a bear market, a red zone market, rallies set up the next legs down. Okay, so be careful and keep that in mind. That's why you need the pulse waves, folks. Spot metals are located on our forex report, okay, on the dashboard. All right, that's where your spot metals are located. All right, here is soybeans. So soybeans have been moving along, just respecting the bar here, respecting this bar, this range that's been set, and just moving sideways on the weekly. Remember, these are weekly charts we're looking at. And you're right here bouncing off the trend line support. It's looking like it wants to have a rally alert buy signal going into next week. We'll see if it can maintain. The last one gave us upside production, but it just couldn't hold it. And the one before that gave us nothing. So we'll see. Markets are chopping around here, trying to find some type of equilibrium. That's hard to come by these days. All right. I already showed you Bank of America. Let me get out of that. Okay, here's the Dow futures. Same thing. New weekly highs. Every week seems to be a new weekly high. This week is no different. This one's on its way to 36,500. So all things being equal, the Dow is set to rally into next week. All right. Let's take a look at the forex. Here is your Australian dollar. moving sideways. The bears have it though. All right, you're in the red zone. You're in a bear market on the weekly chart. You're below trend line resistance, and now you're below Kumo cloud, top of the Kumo cloud. So you have double resistance above you. I think this one's heading lower, all things being equal, unless something happens tomorrow. All right, here is the Bitcoin futures on the weekly. All right, this one right now, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to put in a bottom and start a new bull run. All right, I think it's looking like it wants to go to 50, 55,000. Don't get too happy though, because once it gets between 50 to 55,000, that zone, that 5,000 layer zone, is a strong resistance zone. Going to need multiple closes above that zone in order to really say that the downtrend may be over. All right, so if you were long the Bitcoin, you've been using the pulse waves, you saw this weekly buy trigger and got up in there, and you loving life, just be careful, pop your way through it, use those protective stops, handle your business, don't turn winning trades into losing trades. You know the routine. All right, Canadian dollar, here it is. So we have this crash alert back here, and we got the downside production. Now the market's just kind of moving sideways under a lot of selling pressure overhead. Trendline resistance is proving to be difficult to overcome. Bullish pointer, though, on this is something that we can't forget about. We could drift higher, but right now the bears are keeping it muted. But you are in the green bullish zone. So either this here is a top and the market rolls over, or the bulls come in and defend and bring the market higher. It's going to be interesting to watch. Definitely follow your PulseWave report on how to handle that market. This may give us a little understanding. Here's the US dollar index on the weekly. As you can see here, this one is above trendline support now. All right. But that's on the close. We need to have more upward lift deeper into the Kumo cloud. We're at the 93 handle, which is okay, all fine and well. But if this is going to test the upper bands of the cloud, that means it's going to have to get up to 97. All right, so it still has a way to go yet. You still got 400 points to rally before you say, okay, this dollar is really powering up. As of right now, it's just about a technical bounce off of a low. You had a low here, had a low here. Are we going to just come all the way back up, or is this thing going to find itself in harm's way? Right now, we are in the green zone. We're in the bullish zone. And we're in the Kumo cloud. So I'm expecting that prices will drift higher. All right. So I think all things being equal, depending on what happens tomorrow, this is looking like it wants to continue to rally next week. That could put pressure on commodity prices, including gold and silver. So something to think about there too. Last but not least is Ethereum. So Ethereum, as you can see here, here was the rally alert buy signal. We've been getting nothing but upside production for 3 weeks straight. All right. And so far, based on where we're forming this bullish pointer. Overhead resistance is clear. We're right at this overhead resistance. Technically speaking, it could power up and pop through 35, but I don't know if 3,500 is going to be doable between now and Sunday. It's possible. This is a bullish pointer here, not a major one, but it is one nonetheless. So we have a lot to watch. This could be a setup like this bar here too, though, where we fell. So this could be running out of steam, and it could be about to roll over. All right, you had a little narrow bearish zone, and then where it fell to really fall and lock in another down, a new leg down. Then you flip back to the bullish. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Right now, though, it's looking like the bulls have it, and they want to push prices higher. See how much higher they can go. So I don't know, folks. I mean, we'll see what the markets, have up their sleeves, see what they can do. But I don't know. I don't know if the markets have enough oomph in them, to make it happen. All right, give me just a second. There's one more I need to pull. Let's see if I can find it. Sometimes things don't always cooperate, so let me see here. Give me just a second. All right, let's see. Is this it? Yes, it is. Okay. Let me share my screen one last time with you. All right, this is a request from the trading room. This is Moderna. The ticker is MRNA on the Nasdaq. All things being equal, this is looking like a crash alert sell signal going into next week. This is also so far forming a bullish pointer. So any pullback, it could be drastic and get you all the way back down sub $200. Eventually, it's going to rally back up and test or take out the bullish pointer. So just keep that in mind. We got the crash alert sell signal, all things being equal, going into next week for Moderna. But even if it comes down and takes out or tests the trend line support around the $200 mark, any pullback or correction could be short-lived, because this bullish pointer will attract prices back to it at some point. All right, so with that being said, that's all we got for tonight. Hope everyone has a prosperous Take Back Friday tomorrow, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And remember to take advantage of what we got going on at PulseWaveTrading.com. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. What that simply means is take whatever profit that you can manage and give nothing back. And with that being said, have a great weekend. I'm out. Peace.